Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 54 of the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden NFL 21. Today we continue our coverage of the 2022 NFL Draft. Yesterday we had round 1 of the NFL Draft as it was the day 1 round 1 selections. We went through every single pick, kind of dissected what each team's moves were and how it fits into their current system. So we're going to continue though with day 2. So that means we'll be covering rounds 2 and 3 today. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Now round 2 and 3 won't be as in-depth as round 1. We're not going to go through every pick because that would take quite a while, but we're going to go over all of the noteworthy picks, all of the picks of prospects who we think will do big things for each team. Now yesterday with our first round selection, we had the 6th overall pick. We took safety Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame, a man who will start day 1 at free safety for us. A very good center fielder, has a little bit lower speed with 85, but 82 zone coverage. He can also hit and tackle if need be. He's got a pretty decent block shed off the rip, so Kyle Hamilton will be a day 1 starter and plugs a big hole for us in that secondary. Here's how the top of the current overall board looks, as well as our draft board. We have a few day 2 prospects that we're going to take a look at. Ardarius Washington does sit up top for us. However, since we drafted a safety in round 1, I don't think we'll go back-to-back safeties if we get the opportunity to. But there's all of our day 2 selections. So we'll start with the Miami Dolphins, who have the 33rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and they take Theo Weiss, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. So in round 1, they went edge rusher. Here they go wide receiver, trying to get some more help for Tua, as they're coming off obviously the worst team in the league. And he's a good security blanket. He can make the tough catches, more of an underneath guy currently. But if you can develop that deep route, he could potentially make those catches downfield. With the next pick at number 34, the Bears, they select Mace Funa, linebacker out of Oregon. And he's more of a, run-stopping linebacker, not necessarily a 3-4 linebacker. His coverage isn't that great. Kind of reminds me of a Gerard Davis type of role where he's going to help a lot more in run defense. With the 35th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ben Brown, offensive guard out of Ole Miss. So the Buccaneers, they want Evan Neal round 1, and they go Ben Brown round 2. So obviously the Buccaneers' plan is to get more production for the aging Tom Brady, who's now, I think, in his year 45 season. Ben Brown could start right away on that right guard spot. With the 36th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Ardarius Washington, safety out of TCU. And he was our backup plan in case we didn't get Kyle Hamilton. I thought Ardarius Washington would be a good safety, and by his ratings and his overall in development, he fits just that. 93 speed, so a lot faster than Hamilton. However, his man coverage is better, but his zone coverage isn't as good. He'll take some development, but he should be a good safety for Cincinnati that just lost Jesse Bates in free agency. So that comes to our pick at pick 38. Had to take a look at the trades. Always got to take a look just in case. However, there was nothing that was really too valuable in my opinion. So we're going to pick here at spot 38. And taking a look at how our board currently sits, the top guy on our board was Master Teague, a late first round talent running back. However, we did draft Swift a couple years ago in round 2, and we drafted a running back last year, and we signed Jamal Williams. So I think the running back is okay for now. Instead, Tywone Mullen, I think, is the play. He is a corner who's got C+ man coverage, and his talent is late first round. He's got good press. And we have had rumors, remember, of trading Justin Coleman. While it hasn't happened yet, I think Tywone Mullen is the play just in case it does happen. He is a 72 overall, hidden development. So we take the man out of Indiana, only 21 years old. And he's got some raw traits, I would say. He's very fast at 95 speed, 94 agility, 94 excel. So he's got very quick feet. However, he does need to improve his coverages a little bit. He might get some playing time at nickel right away, but with some development, I think he should become a solid corner in our secondary. So I think a good selection for us, especially if we do trade Justin Coleman. With the 41st pick, the Baltimore Ravens, they select Mykael Wright, another cornerback, this time out of Oregon. So 3 spots later, the Ravens go the Oregon 5'11 corner, who is a good man coverage corner. He's got 71 man coverage, so a little bit better traits off the rip from Mullen. So you have to see, do you think we took the better of the two corners? Then with the 43rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants, they select Damani Richardson, safety out of Texas A&M. And Damani Richardson is a good safety, but he is that typical or that prototype box safety. He's going to play a lot closer to the line. He can hit, and he can hit hard. 88 hit power, got 87 speed. His coverages aren't that great, but he could be that box safety, maybe third linebacker spot in those run-stopping roles. With the 46th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. Now in round 1, the Colts went with Bo Nix, and in round 2, they tried to get a target that Bo Nix can develop some chemistry with from day 1, and fellow rookie Khalil Shakir. Shakir is basically a security blanket off the rip. He's got good catching, and he's got great short route running, but as of right now, that is his specialty, so he'll be Bo Nix's target underneath. With the 47th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jayson Oweh, defensive end out of Penn State. Now, this is an interesting pick for the Rams, as in round 1, they took another lineman in Zach Pickens, and then in round 2, they take another lineman in Jason Owen, who is a pass-rushing lineman. So, I think they do have other needs, so it's interesting that they went defensive lineman again, but that defensive line is going to be stacked. With the 48th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select DeMarvin Leal, defensive end out of Texas A&M. He was my favorite defensive end still on the board, and I would have liked to have selected him if we didn't select Tywan Mullen. But Leal is a very good defensive end. He's very strong, and he can get off the blocks and help in the run game right away for New England, something that I think we could have used as well in our defensive line. With the 51st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Javian Hawkins, running back out of Louisville. Now, Hawkins was a big part of this rush game this past year with Cunningham in Louisville, and while he doesn't have hidden dev, he does have a pretty high overall off the bat with 75. He is a one-cut runner, got blazing speed at 95 with 87 direction and good ball carrier vision, so he's the kind of running back that's going to give you one cut and he's gone. With the 52nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Master Teague III, running back out of Ohio State. So there goes the power back that we were looking at, 73 overall, hidden development. He will help that backfield in Las Vegas that's still trying to find their identity, I feel like, on offense. He is very strong. He's going to truck a couple of people despite his strength being 75, but good pickup for Las Vegas in my opinion. And with the 53rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Isaiah Spiller, running back out of A&M. So the running back run continues. No pun intended. And Isaiah Spiller is different than the other two. He is probably the best pass-catching running back in the draft. He's got good speed at 91, good change of direction, but he can catch the football out of the backfield. So they tried to add another weapon for Tom Brady as the Buccaneers are going all offense. You can see with that 80 catching that he will be a help in that pass game. With the 54th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Paris Ford, safety out of Pittsburgh. Now, in my opinion, I thought this was a very deep class at safety, and Paris Ford is another one of those safeties who could be a very good starter. 6 foot, 23 years old out of Pittsburgh. He stays close to home. His coverages aren't there yet, in my opinion. He's still very raw, but he does have a high ceiling, and he's playing for his hometown team. For the 56th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Packers select Isaiah Slade Matuitia, linebacker, Oregon. So our division rivals, who had a good draft last year, continue a good draft this year with a hidden dev middle linebacker who can cover. He's very fast. He's got 68 zones, so it's not quite there yet, but he can fly. Kind of a jack of all trades, master of none right now, but he could be a jack of all trades, master of quite a few things with some development. With the 58th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Nathan Pickering, defensive tackle, Mississippi State. Now, Nathan Pickering isn't going to wow you off of his initial selection, but he was somebody that I also had some interest in, especially if he slid to that round 3 spot. He's very strong, and he can get to the passer right away. Kind of going to get lost in run defense, but a nice piece there for that Atlanta D-line. With the 59th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Jaguars select Jamie Robinson, safety out of South Carolina. Another good pickup here for Jacksonville and another good safety in this class. 72 overall, hidden development, could be the best value out of any of the safeties as he has great zone coverage off the bat. 77 zone, 63 man. He's more of a center fielder type role like Kyle Hamilton, but a very good value pick there for Jacksonville. Now with the 61st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Harry Miller, center out of Ohio State. So you can see the Titans, they were very dedicated to their offensive line. They drafted Sean Ryan in the first round, Harry Miller here in the second round, and last year with that trade, they picked up Andrew Thomas from the Giants. So very good 3 young pieces there for that Tennessee line. Tannehill should be protected for years to come. With the 63rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Washington football team select Jayden Hasselwood, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. So I think Washington gets a good pick here for Dwayne Haskins, who's still developing. As you watch their offense, they relied heavily on their run game, and now they're trying to make it more dynamic. They'll be able to pair Jayden Hasselwood with Terry McLaurin for a nice 1-2 punch there in Washington. I like what they're building under Ron Rivera. And with the last pick in the 2022 second round, the Kansas City Chiefs select Max Borge, running back out of Washington State. So I mentioned in the first round how picking Shane Lee was very interesting for the Chiefs, and this is another very interesting pick for Kansas City. I'm not saying that Max Borge isn't good or anything, but he is a running back who's got speed and he can catch out of the backfield. Basically the same thing as Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I don't know why Kansas City went with another running back, but who am I to question the defending Super Bowl champs? So that'll bring us into round 2. Here is a list at all the picks. We selected Tywan Mullen with our pick to be that corner, but a lot of good picks came in the second round. Here is a list of all of them. Let me know what you thought of our second round pick. Do you think we should have gone with somebody else? Do you think we should have gone with Master Teague maybe, or a couple of other players? But now we're going to move to the third round. It won't be as long as the second round. I think I only have about 6 picks to highlight. But with the 65th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Miami Dolphins select Kedon Slovis, quarterback out of USC. So in Madden, quarterbacks like to go at the beginning of round 3. So the Dolphins, who already have Tua, select Kedon Slovis. Slovis, I think, should have gone in the first round instead of Bo Nix, in my opinion. Yes, he doesn't have the dev, but he has the skill set of a first-round quarterback with all those good accuracies. Look at that short and middle accuracy, 91-86. Won't throw the ball far, but I think Slovis could be a good game manager for somebody. Then with the 69th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Mikael Cunningham, quarterback out of Louisville. And I am very interested to see how Cunningham prospers in Denver. I'm glad he went to Denver because they do have Drew Lock, but Drew Lock isn't really a sure thing. So Mikael Cunningham, in a couple of years, could be the starting quarterback out there. Now, his accuracies aren't there yet. We already kind of knew that, but he is dynamic. He has blazing speed for that running back position, quarterback position, almost rivals that of Lamar Jackson. Very interested to see how his career goes in Denver. So that takes us to our third round selection now here at pick 7. We take a look at the trades. And a couple of the teams were offering us future capital in the second round, which was tempting. But I decided to make the selection here, and the only guy I really had on my board in this area was Elijah Vera Tucker, a guard out of USC, one of Kedon Slovis's protectors this past year. He is a very good pass protector on the inside, and with Stafford getting older for this season, I think Vera Tucker could be that guard of the future. Yes, he won't help out in the run game as much, but we do have some time to develop him. 72 overall normal dev. You can see his pass blocking is already fine, so if we can focus just on his run blocking, he'll be a good guard inside and could take that role for Laken Tomlinson, because we only signed Tomlinson to a 1-year deal. So Vera Tucker could be that guard of the future for us. Now with the 71st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jerrion Ealy, running back out of Ole Miss. Now I think this is a very intriguing selection by New York, as he's 73 overall hidden dev, so great value here in the third round. And he is another one of those one-cut backs who can catch it out of the backfield. And they do have Le'Veon Bell on roster, and I think Ealy could be a great replacement for Bell maybe next year and years to come. So I think it's a very good pick for the future for the Jets. Now the 73rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Jordan Battle, safety out of Alabama. So another good safety goes, this time in the third round, as he also has hidden development. And the Ravens continue making good selections. So Baltimore had a down year. I think with all these selections, they'll be up in no time. He's got a great all-around skill set. Phenomenal value in the third round. With the 81st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Philadelphia Eagles select Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State. Now, Brandon Smith is one of those run-stopping linebackers. He's more of a strong side backer. He has a very similar skill set to Jamie Collins, in my opinion. You can see he's not really there in the coverage yet, but he can stop the run. He was actually somebody I was hoping fell to round 3 so we could take him, but nonetheless, he goes to Philly. So that'll do it with all of the third round selections. You can see a couple of others. Tyler Show, another quarterback, went to Cincinnati because, Madden likes to put all their quarterbacks selected at the beginning of round 3. But this is where you started to see the value drop off a little bit, so we didn't highlight everybody. As you can see here, a lot of 68s, a lot of 69s, maybe low 70s players. But that'll bring us to the end of day 2. Zach Charbonnet is another guy I thought I could select in round 4, but he went to Tennessee in round 3. So here are our 3 selections so far: Kyle Hamilton, Tywan Mullen, Elijah Vera Tucker, 3 over 70 overall players who could make an impact this coming season. Here's how our current draft board looks going into the final day of the draft. We have 2 4th-round picks, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th, so 5 more selections to make. But that's going to do it to the end of round 2. Let me know what you guys thought of our picks. Do you think we made good picks? Do you think we addressed our needs, or should we have gone in a different direction? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content, as we will wrap up the draft tomorrow. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.